Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for this evening, acclaimed film producer of such films as Maleficent, The Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast. Please put your hands together for a former cast member of Lester's Possum Park, Don Hahn.
Thank you so much. Who's having a good time at D23 today? Oh my God, I have never seen so many strange costumes and had so much fun. But you guys have chosen wisely. Because you are here for, I guarantee, the coolest and best panel of the entire weekend. If you're a Goofy movie fan, as all of you are, and please hold your cat calls till later. You know that this movie is a phenomenon, and it really is. It's 20 years old, and we're here tonight with some incredible people that were part of making the movie to celebrate 20 years of the Goofy movie. Now, it's a movie that, you know, is full of things that traditional movies are full of. It's full of happy scenes. And there's some very sad moments in the movie. But most of all, it's just good, clean fun, and one of the great, over 20 years, Disney classics. So, let's get on with the show. First, the amazing screenwriter of the Goofy movie, Jim Mahan. Yes, I have so many questions for you. Oh boy, you're gonna like this. Next, we have the lovely and talented ASB president, Stacy. Here is Jennifer Conway. Selfies all the way through the program. I thought it'd be good. Next is, PJ Pete. Here's Rob Olsen. Just another day at the office. Well, you know, Rob's dad is here, Pete. Here's Jim Cummings, ladies. Jim Cummings. There's 2 chairs left. Please put your hands together for Max. Here's Jason Marsden. You guys are out of control. And the star of the Goofy movie.
Mine works.
Oh boy. Thank God Jenna's here to add some estrogen to the proceedings.
Just needed a little dose.
Yeah, no,
Got some heels.
good. We did too, we just didn't wear them, so. Listen, I'm going to start with you, Jim, because this movie has a interesting and checkered past of how it came to the screen. Tell us a little bit about how you came on the movie and how it grew, how this idea grew to do a Goofy movie.
Yeah, we were doing a show at the time called Goof Troop. You've heard of it? Okay. Well, as you know, we had Bill Farmer as Goofy, and we had Dana Hill was playing Max. And when it came time to do a special, we were thinking of doing a special. We did a Goofy Christmas, if you've never seen that one. Thank you. And suddenly we came up with this idea, should we do a film, a feature-length film starring Goofy? So when we decided to put him on the big screen, we wanted to age up Max and put him in high school, and that's when Jason came along. And I love this Max. Anyway, so I basically sat by myself for a year typing, and then they finally brought in Kevin Lima and Brian Pimentel and all the talented people, and they looked at my script and said, great, bye, and they sent me on my way. And they awarded this amazing film. So, did I talk enough about Checkers? You said checkered past.
Well, no, that's a Nixon speech. It's something else. Thank you for all you Nixon fans out there. And there's like this chicken. So, as part of the backdrop of this idea was to kind of develop these ideas, and it turned into the Goofy movie. It has all these kind of cousins and ancestors behind it, which is pretty amazing. And as we mentioned earlier, the Goof Troop was part of it as well. And who knew? So all that kind of added up into kind of pouring all those things together into a lovely secret sauce that ended up being this film. And one of the most amazing parts of it is bringing on the director, Kevin Lima. Now, Kevin's made many movies, but he's made a couple movies that I love. He's a brilliant guy. He's in Tarzan. He did a little movie called Enchanted. It's just something small. And Kevin could not be with us today, but he felt so strongly about you guys being here, he wanted to send a little video greeting along. So here's the director of the Goofy movie, live almost from his house. Here's Kevin Lima.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Lima, the director of the Goofy movie. And I have to say, it's seriously killing me that I can't be there with all of you to celebrate the movie. I'm sure you'll agree with me, because you've stood in line and you're packed into this hall, that the Goofy movie is an underappreciated Disney gem. That's a Blu-ray release, what's up with that? Seriously though, I'm thrilled that you're here. Hopefully you'll learn a couple of things about the movie that you didn't know before. I'm going to prompt Bill Farmer to talk about the time that we had the recording session, because Jeffrey Katzenberg thought that Goofy shouldn't talk like Goofy, that he should have like a regular voice like Steve Martin. Thank goodness that didn't work out. And let's see, I got a couple other things. Let's see, I dug into my boxes and mementos. I keep a box for each movie. And there's not much in the Goofy movie box, but I did find these. They didn't make much merchandising, but I did find these maquettes. They're one of a kind because our budget was about, I don't know, 1/10 of The Lion King. So I make one of each. So I have Max here, and I've got a little Roxanne. Anyway, those are great mementos from the film that I'll cherish forever. Let's see, what else can I share? I know that you know that a lot of us make do voices for the movies. The animators and the directors get involved in that. I did one for a Goofy movie. I did a couple actually. But the one you'll remember is this one. So if you know the response, it's a question and answer type thing. If you know the response, call it out, okay? Give me a second, I haven't done this in 20 years. Who's your favorite possum? Hopefully someone responded in the theater. Embarrassing if I did that to find out. That's a question. Anyway, there you go. A couple of things. I hope you have a great time. You know, over the years, over the past years especially, lots and lots of guys in their 20s, especially guys, some girls, but mostly guys, they find out I directed this movie. They freak out, so I know it really means something to people and to a whole audience, a whole generation out there. So thank you for that. Thanks for the responding to the film in that way. Have a great time, and I wish I could be there with you. Alrighty, guys, take it easy.
I just want you guys to weigh in a little bit on the process of making this movie. These are some beautiful sketches by Kevin and by Brian Pimentel, who was the head of the story department on this movie, and just this relationship story. Bill, maybe you can talk about that. Like, it's such a emotional story, oddly, for a Goofy movie. Talk about that and kind of how you first were exposed to this.
Well, of course.
Do we have? Yeah, there we go. Howdy, everyone. Goofy movie came out, we did 80-some episodes of Goof Troop, so I thought Eddie had to be a nurturing father in that, but we had to take it even further in a Goofy movie. He had to be really nurturing and much more of a sentimental and a serious character, along with the comedy. As Kevin mentioned, it didn't start out that way, because the powers that be thought that maybe Goofy should speak in more of a voice like I'm speaking in now. And I actually had to do about a half a week or a week of recording in my voice. And I'm saying to Kevin, I said, they don't want to hear Gorge Helby. No, in my voice.
In this voice you're talking in now.
And yes, in the voice. And I'm going home, I'm thinking, no one wants to hear that. They want to heir Goofy, don't they?
It is a weird voice.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
And after a week or so, I guess Michael Eisner and Roy Disney, as I understand it, said, no, don't change the classic characters. So I got to re-record the movie. On this movie, generally you do 3 or 4 days of recording, principal recording, and a few days of pickup on a movie. 43 days I recorded on a Goofy movie over a 2.5-year period. It was kind of a trial and error, try things, they didn't work, and eventually they came out with a gem, and I'm so thankful that all for this movie, and obviously by you being here, it's, it is a little gem after all.
It's beautiful, and Jason, I want to ask you the same thing. What is it getting involved in this movie, and what has it meant to you in that early process? Is this something like when you were making it, you thought, 20 years from now, I'm going to be sitting on the stage in front of 900 people talking about this?
I thought that exactly.
I thought so.
As soon as I auditioned for this, like, I don't know, I'm going to be a D23. They haven't invented it yet, but it's going to happen. No, I have no idea. I mean, come on, man. It's insane. I know. You sound just like it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, my work is done here.
I'm 40 years old. I still haven't gone to puberty yet. So, in high school, what was the question again?
I think you answered it well, yeah.
No idea. It's a privilege. Thank you guys for being here, and yeah, I get people, like Kevin said, people come up to me all the time. They see this movie brought solidified my relationship with my dad or with my parents, and I love hearing those stories. It means a whole lot. So what a treat.
Jim, you've done a lot of voices around.
Only most of busy afternoon and theme parks.
Too numerous to mention, but when you came on the movie and were asked to do Pete, and it's what was that process? Were there any special kind of instructions like there were for Bill about doing the old Pete voice, or doing something that you brought to it, or what was kind of the instruction on the movie?
Well, I had to gain 70 pounds. Obviously.
I did not know that.
And being a classic character like Pete, you just have to remember that he's going to be the father of the year. He's everybody's favorite dad. And there's my favorite little write-off right here. So I had to I think he's Parent of the Year, right? And I always thought that parenting tips for Pete would be a good institution. And then, you know,
What would some of those be?
well, I can recall one time he thought it was hysterical to scare the living bejesus out of the kids, and April Winchell, his wife, gave him holy heck, and I said, well, you know, I think a shock to the system is good for the little weasels. It urges their glands that they may grow. So, you know, I was going to infuse it with that love.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I swear I'm not that bad at home. It was fun.
We brought a little clip along to show Pete in action on the screen. Let's take a look.
So tell me, Goof, is that Kitty still giving you guff?
I don't know what's wrong. Just seems like everything I try only drives Max further away. Maybe I ought to just back off. I don't know.
Wrong, Goof. If you keep them under your thumb, they'll never end up in the gutter.
Too bad, Pete. Almost.
Almost. Watch this.
Yes, sir. Come on, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, and it all goes well. Why don't you two stay for dinner?
Cool. No thanks, Pete. Max and I have some fish to catch.
Oh, Dad, we can do that tomorrow.
So, what are we having? But Max, I thought...
Under your thumb, Goof.
Maximilian.
What?
Get your gear, little man. We're going fishing. I mean that.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Father of the Year.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to skip over Rob because once we start with Rob, it just goes on forever. I'm kidding. We will get you. Thank you.
Okay.
Jenna, though, flew in, I'm not making this up, flew in this morning, left at 6 o'clock in the morning from Nashville, Tennessee.
So I just want to say, like, yay.
Well, there you are on the screen. How was this audition? Like, how did you come to this job?
You know, I kind of just went in and did my shtick. Like, I talk fast and I'm a little nerdy from time to time. And I did not wear a hat to the audition, however, just for the record. I put that out there. No, I went in and I had a good time with it, and I did my fast talking thing, and apparently it worked. I will say though, a couple of months after I finished the film, I believe it was Gabrielle Carteris came up to me at a charity event, and she said, "It's nice to meet you, but I just wanted to let you know," she was so gracious and kind, "I just wanted to let you know that, man, I just really wanted that role, and you got it." And I was like, "I'm so sorry," but I'm not sorry at all.
Jen and I are neighbors in Tennessee, and it takes D23 for us to actually see each other. I haven't seen you in like...
I mean, is that pathetic? Like, we had to come all the way to Anaheim and fly across the country, except that it was worth it because we're here with us.
We'll have to do the next D23 in Tennessee. We'll have to
Do it.
Yeah.
Please. Y'all come over to my house for some barbecue. Lester's Hoedown.
Can't beat that. Rob, I tease you, but talk about this movie and what it's meant being in it, and just what it meant doing this voice when you started out, and what it's like looking back for 20 years.
And how it changed your life.
And also, what did you have for lunch?
My name is PJ, and Bill's an alcoholic. Just kidding. First of all, it was an easy gig to do because... What? I love pork rinds. I'm a lousy dancer, and Jim Cummings is my role model.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, honest to God, I think we talked about this a few times. I am so thrilled at the depth of love for this film, and Don and I were talking backstage, and if somebody had said to me, "Hey, you know, there's going to be this really cool thing at D23, and you're going to be part of it," and had I been part of Lion King, that's where my brain would have gone, you know, a big celebration sort of thing, because this was an amazingly fun movie with working with people whom you choose to spend your free time with. We had a blast doing the series, but I didn't know the depth of love for this film. It's absolutely astonishing, and it's, it really did change my life, because as a result of my father, I have yet to speak to a woman.
That could be a problem since I'm right next to you.
I haven't talked to you, don't. Ow. It's just pure joy. Thank you so much for including me, really.
You guys are in a lot of scenes together. Did you work together in this movie, or did Kevin have you in a one-on-one, or did you play off of each other? Like, so what was that like?
Yeah, we did a few together, but sometimes you solo, but I like it when we're together.
I did too.
We did a few over at Waves.
We did a lot of scenes together, but then again, I also went back in and did those lines solo. I don't know, just to get the best reading of it, and then they actually better to put them together in post-production editing. But I love working with all these guys. It is absolutely a dream come true to get to work with these guys. They bring you up to their level and just make the product a whole lot better by their being there. And I miss recording with everybody, and I don't do that too often anymore, but it's a lot of fun.
It is. And people ask that question a lot, and unfortunately, we do these days, do individual recordings. In video games, it happens like that pretty much all the time, and I think on features too, you probably have a lot of actors in individually.
Yes.
It is way, 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 way beyond fun to be in a room with all these incredibly gifted people. That's the show, folks. It really is. When you're in a room,
That's where the magic
oh my
happens.
God, it's outrageous. When you're in that room with all of those people, it really does, like Billy says, a high tide raises all boats, and you get better being around all those people.
And sometimes the stuff that we say makes it in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, sometimes the ad-libs actually make it on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, you've written so much for this movie, and you named characters like Powerline and things, and you have there's a few Powerline fans out there.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is you rely on the energy of the actors to bring to those lines, but also to ad-lib, because when you have actors like this, it's kind of a dream situation, is it not?
Yes. I noticed you were about to show Principal Mazer.
Principal Mazer.
That was my principal in high school.
Here's Principal Mazer. So his name really was Mazer?
Yeah. There's nothing to add to that.
I thought there was a great story to follow that up. It was just a storytelling dead end.
I do want to tell this, since Kevin was just on.
Yeah, please.
I was just on the phone with Brian Pimentel a few days ago, and he's flying back east, and he really wanted to be here and say hi to all of you. But anyway, Brian and Kevin make a cameo in the film, and they're in the gymnasium during the sequence where Max imitates Powerline, and there's these two guys who look at each other, and that's Kevin and Brian. So I said to Kevin after the movie came out, I said, how come I didn't get to be in the film? And he didn't skip a beat at all. He said, but you are in the film, Jim. And I said, where? And they said, you know the song where they're talking about it's the last day of school and they fling their jock straps at each other? And they say, no more Jim, no more Jim, no more Jim.
I knew you loved sports, but I had no idea you were such an athletic supporter.
touching. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jockeying for position. Listen, while we're on the principal, Wally Shawn, amazing guy, and he wanted to send his greetings today, and he did so on the big screen. Let's say hello to Wally Shawn. Yeah. Wally Shawn.
Shouldn't these students be in class?
Yes, they should.
Shouldn't these students be studying for their final exams? Or better yet, what about those educational science slumber parties? Activities. Now, you know, Principal Mazer was one of the most important characters in the film because if it weren't for him, Mr. Goof would never have taken Maximilian on that father-son road trip. Anyway, I certainly wish that I could join you all in person, but this principal has to make the most of his summer vacation. Having a great time this weekend at the 2015 D23 Expo. And I have to say, there's no homework this weekend. Keep up the good work, or you'll be suspended.
You know, I have dinner with Andre action figures.
Yeah.
Stimulating.
Action figures.
Action figures, my dinner with Andre.
Yeah.
Make my dinner with Andre crowd here, right? Anyway.
It's true, the amazing Wally Shawn.
Hopefully it won't come to you.
I just want to say real quickly that when you make television shows, the writers will write scripts, and because we're on such a tight schedule, that's the script that gets recorded and that's the script that gets produced. When you make a film, there's a million people involved, and so anything that you write, it gets completely changed. And so one of the warm spots for me is the fact that my line, Science Slumber Parties, made it into the film.
We should have t-shirts like that out in the lobby. And this question, I honestly don't know this, but Bill and to everybody, do you do any of the voices for any of the foreign versions? Like, did somebody come and say, you know, who speaks Italian, who speaks French? Have you done any of that?
I have, but not in a long time. For different projects such as Kingdom Hearts, I'm listening to the Japanese actor in my headphones, and I'm trying to put the English words in the same amount of time on the screen. And the Japanese actor who had learned how to do the laugh and everything, for me, it's so weird. It's like, ooh, and he learned to laugh for me instead of, he broken it down into 3 distinct parts. It's like, that's good in Japanese as well as English.
You know, I love a good ahui with soy sauce. It's very, very good. Thank you for bringing that up.
No, I just wanted to throw this all away. There's really no semblance of order happening. This is really off script, but I have to ask Jim Cummings if Winnie the Pooh has anything to say.
Well, I suppose if someone would have a smackerel of honey somewhere.
Otherwise, if you don't, I could just bounce on out there and get it. Just saying, don't be ridiculous.
I'm just going to sit here all day. This is great. I told him he'd be out of here by 10, so. Oh, man. going back to these characters again, and the story of the dad and the son, I think it's so many people have come up to it. I think all of you guys have told me at different times and said, what an emotional time. And Jenny was even said this, people have come up and said it's an emotional point of connection between a father and a son and how close this movie is. What are some of those people that have come up to you and what have they said just about their relationship to this movie 20 years later?
I mean, I think it's such the epitome of a father and son relationship where they're, during a crucial developmental time in a boy's life, a young girl's life, it doesn't really matter which one. You struggle and you have a lot to learn from your parents. Oh my goodness, I see a Stacy hat in the audience. Sorry, I just had to mention that. Threw me from the hello, my fellow friend. But I think the beauty of it is that we all do come back to the basics of it, which is love, and that is an emotional thing. And I think it's beautiful when you can take a movie that you probably didn't necessarily expect to have such emotion underneath it, and have that undercurrent of love come through so loudly.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in this movie, and I love to tell the story, is, and it's so weird to say in a Goofy movie, is the scene with Pete and Goofy in the hot tub.
Which sounds odd.
But it was like the most true, real scene, between these kind of I'll use Goofy as a pun, Goofy characters, but it was a very real emotional scene and very, very brilliantly performed by these two cats.
Oh, thank you.
And we weren't wearing clothes.
No, we were in the studio.
In the bubbles.
Luckily, I was 18, so I got to be in the booth. That's
the face you made, right there.
Can I just say I'm really glad I wasn't recording that day?
This is Max after the hot tub scene, and these characters, if Disney, Walt Disney did anything, he invented personality animation. And I think the question mark about this movie when it was being made was, can you take characters who have their life in short films, and can they be in a feature film? Can you take somebody like Goofy and Max and all these characters and make them sustain a story for a long time? But you did. What was that process, Bill? You had to sustain a movie and you had to sing in the movie.
Yeah.
And what was that process like to try to, was it horrifying or?
Well, you get a lot of chances to do it. But no, when you, I have to kind of comment on something earlier, talking about, so many people come up to me today and say that this movie changed their relationship with their dad. I've had people say, I couldn't talk to my dad, but when this movie came on, it changed our relationship, or that they would play the songs on a road trip. And I knew that it was really a father-son thing when my own son, who was 5 years old when this came out, we went to an advanced screening. And when we came out of the theater, my son said, and he was crying, actually. And I said, what's wrong, buddy? And he said, well, when Goofy went over the waterfall, I thought that was you. So I said, oh, this movie has heart. And I knew about it.
It has great heart. That's fantastic. And there's also great friendships in this, and I love kind of Max and PJ and Bobby is one of the most amazing characters.
It could be in a John Hughes film.
Where did Bobby Zaborowski come from? Is that another person from your past, or was it just?
No, actually, I think I had in my head all along that this should be a Pauly Shore character, and I think I actually wrote some lines that I thought sounded like Pauly Shore, but obviously he did much better.
Yeah, the amazing Pauly Shore.
He's so good at doing himself.
He's fantastic. And sales of Cheese Whiz just went through the roof. Pauly Shore wanted to say hello. Here he is. Let's take a look.
Pauly Shore. I did the voice of Bobby Chmielewski on the Goofy movie, and I want to say sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm working on my own stuff here, working on a lot of my stand-up stuff right now, but I want to wish you guys a happy 20th. It's been 20 years since we did the Goofy movie. It's pretty crazy. I know to this day a lot of people still come up to me and go, Leaning Tower with cheese. I really like the movie, and it did really well for me, and thank you for the opportunity. And I'm glad you guys are reliving. It's been 20 years. Anyways, what's up? 20 years. Thank you very much. sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm writing my stand-up right now. I'm about to hit the road in the fall, so we're gonna love my stand-up stuff now. We'll see you guys next time. One more time for what? Cheese.
We wanted to be the only panel today. The only panel today with trade pass orders. And the Cheese Whiz Girls, as we call them. I'm just gonna pass this on. Yeah, there's a lot of Cheese Whiz on here, so we'll save some for y'all.
Oh, looks different than the other Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
Cheers, color.
Yeah, it is. We'll just be eating Cheese Whiz for the next half hour, actually. One of my favorite scenes in the whole movie is this guy. So, let's just pass this along, really. It's okay. I'll set it back there. Here. Okay, good.
We got enough wins.
Yeah. We got a lot of cans of Cheese Whiz in the back, so take your time with that. Listen, Lester's Boston Park, if you've been on a road trip, 166 or whatever, you run across these places, and one of the coolest things about this movie is we got to work with a character actor, and if you're of a certain age, you may remember a character actor named Pat Buttram. And there's Pat. And this was possibly Pat's last role.
I think it is, yeah. I had a great remembrance of him. I got to sit in the lobby before we went in to record. He was 3 months later, I think he passed away. He was 83 years old. He was doing stand-up comedy up until the end. He was even trying material out on me that day. I remember one of the jokes he was saying. He was going to go out and do a presentation for Jack Palance, who had just been on the Oscars. And he goes, "Now, Bill, I'm going to try this joke out on you. I'm going to go out there and say, you know, Jack, you're an amazing guy in amazing shape. You was out there on the Oscars doing one-arm push-ups. Father Time has been very kind to you, but it looks like Mother Nature done out of your face."
When we were preparing for this, we had a lot of trouble trying to find if anybody does the definitive Pat Buttram, because we found out that Jim Cummings, you have a Pat Buttram, don't you?
I have everybody has a Pat Buttram.
Can we hear that, please?
I've worked with him a bunch of times. He was great. He was one of. I played the Andy Devine bullet in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the Walter Brennan bullet in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Pat Buttram played the Pat Buttram bullet in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and so we got to hang out, and I've met him a few times over the years, and one line he said to me was, "Do you know what give me 6 good men in a buckboard means?" And I said, "No. I don't either. I said that in 40 damn movies." And he said a lot of other things that I won't be saying. But wait, there's more.
Well,
yeah. That's another contestant, and then we'll have a vote.
Yeah, we all gonna mess around with this here voice every now and then, and I met Mr. Buttram at the at LA Studios, and he was just sitting there, and I was working on something in which I was actually replacing him as a result of the fact that he was ill. Okay, it was I think it was one of the I think it was Chief in one of the Fox and
Hound movies, yeah.
And so I said, yeah, I mean, it was, anytime, I know, I feel terrible. This is not the happiest place on earth at this moment.
Go with it.
Okay, here we are. It's very therapeutic. So I walked out to him and I said, "Mr. Buttram, it was because of Mr. Haney on Green Acres, and that's when I was just such a thrill to meet him, and I said, I have to tell you, sir, that I have actually stolen your voice on more than one occasion." And he said, "Well, that's all right, son. I ain't using it much no more." It's like, nah, go ahead. It's all right. So you got to pay for your car. I don't. Just a delightful man, and that I think that because we're fortunate enough to do what we do, and like today, the table downstairs at which we were signing earlier, Ed Asner is there. You know?
How cool is that?
And how cool is that? And so to get a chance to meet these people and even spend a little bit of time and with these people who really were TV showbiz legends for 10 minutes is just, I'll never forget that opportunity. Never.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'd like to do my pet, but
Yeah.
Let's do Jim and then we'll get to Jenna.
hi.
You can skip me.
I'm Pat Buttry.
I got chills.
The only other voice that we always have a voice off is all of us try to do Chris Walken as well.
We're the last panel of the day. Let's just stop.
No time.
Let's have a little Christopher Walken moment, actually, if you'd like.
Goofy.
Now, perhaps it's time to move on.
On concert,
Jason, you got a Christopher Walken? Or no, it's just...
that was it. That was it. You sound just like him.
One of the cool things about this movie, not to change the subject, but one of the cool things about this movie is all the little Easter eggs and things that are hidden in it. You were talking about this before, about Brian Pimentel and Kevin being in the film, and there they are. There's a reason why I'm there to stay behind the camera. But there's a great scene from a wonderful old Mickey Mouse push button phone. I used to have that phone actually. And former President of the United States, Richard Nixon, which is completely appropriate. And there's a thing with nuns in this movie. There's like 40 scenes with nuns in this movie. What's the issue?
You'd have to ask Kevin.
All right, we'll get back on that.
They kicked Jim out of class a lot. Is probably one of the little homage to them.
Yeah, he had a difficult childhood. These guys, if you're of a younger age, may not know them, but Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, they were from Chicago, and if you got a thumbs up or thumbs down from them, it was fantastic. And the Goofy movie got a thumbs up from these guys. And I'm telling you, that was a huge vote of confidence. It really helped the movie, but it was again, two world-class critics, and they were at the top of their game, great guys, and gave 2 thumbs up to the Goofy movie, so good on you. That's all I'm going to say. So, there's a lot of fans out there, and people who have, like yourselves, God bless you, who dress up like the characters, who wear the hats. Thank you very much.
Where's Roxanne?
Yeah.
I told you way outside.
Roxanne's over here. Stand up and do that. We have Howard Live over here. There's another hat in the back. We have another. That's lovely. So, you guys are so great. We absolutely love you guys and are grateful for that. And we also love the guys that make things like these fan videos online. And there's one online that just cracked us all up. And you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen this, you're in for a real treat. But this is a little fan video based on the song After Today. And, I'm just going to share that with you right now. And if you'd like, just sing along.
PJ?
Ship in your hour ago.
What? Hold on. Oh, no. Wait up!
You forgot your lunch. Have a good one.
Deep and laugh, things inside I can't remember, but they're not gonna laugh anymore. No more Maxie the Geek, no more Goof of the Week like before. No more looking at losers like him. No more having the G.
No more next Mary me. No more June, no more June, no more
Live in the pool, gonna talk to Roxanne.
She looked right through me, and who could blame her? I need a new me, some positive proof that I'm not just a good and when this is ended, I'll either be famous or you'll be suspended. I wish that this was the day after today.
Made that film are here in the second row. They'll be signing autographs after the show. Thank you guys. It's a huge honor. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Beautiful.
They're taking selfie. Hold on. Well, I love the songs in this show so much. They were written by Jack Feldman, Tom Snow, and then Carter Burwell wrote this great score for it. But if you guys talk a little bit about integrating the songs into this show and how much music means to this show in terms of telling the story.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have wonderful people who put together the hours and hundreds of hours to put together a video like this if they didn't love it. So obviously the music is an integral part of this movie and just really gives it its life and its flow, and it's a musical really. So it was very important.
I remember my girlfriend at the time when she saw the movie, she's like, "That movie's okay. The songs are really good."
Yeah, that's such a high compliment.
I just talked to Brian Pimentel the other day, and he said he found a tape of a song that they wrote called Roxanne, and that it was cut from the movie because I guess Katzenberg looked at it and said, "Who wants to listen to a ballad in a cartoon?" What?
That's changed.
Yeah.
That could be great Blu-ray bonus material if there was a Blu-ray.
You guys want a Blu-ray of the...
I don't know. So if you know anybody at the Walt Disney Company, if you'd like to send a polite email, we would get fired and let go if we asked for it. No, that's not true. I would love to have a Blu-ray of this.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Such a cool. Write your congressman after this, write your senators and ask for the Blu-ray disc of the Goofy movie. Nobody Else But You is one of my favorite moments, because again, it's like another bonding moment between Max and Goofy and all these characters. Tell us about that song and how that kind of fit into that moment at Lester's.
Well, it is definitely the bonding song of the movie toward the end of the movie. It's a very touching song, and it is totally out of character for Goofy to get that kind of emotional. That was the hardest part for me in the movie. It was to kind of like add those layers that Goofy had never had before, and to touch his heart, and to show the angst he had about Max and where he thinks Max is going, and he just wants to help Max, and he just wants to take him on a trip and love him. And it's a love story, it's a love song, and it's, except it's interrupted by a waterfall, but other than that, it's a very touching waterfall.
There's many things
Can I just for a moment, it's really important what Billy said, because often a lot of us are lucky enough to do these types of events in which we get to speak to
Set the world in motion. My reaching out for each other's hand. Maybe we'll discover what we should have known all along. Yeah, yeah. One way or another, together's where we both belong. Come on, if we listen to each other's heart, you find we're never too far apart. And maybe love is the reason why. For the first time ever, we're seeing it eye to eye. Yeah, yeah. If a wall should come between us, too high to climb, too hard to break through, I know that love will lead us and find always to bring me to you. So don't be in a hurry. Thank you for your counsel. Oh, you don't have to worry. I will never let you down. Come on, man. If we listen to each other's heart, the heart will never seem far apart. And maybe love is the reason why. For the first time ever, we're seeing it eye to eye. Now we're ready. Yes, we are. Seeing it eye to eye. Seeing it
Thank you to our dancers. Thanks for our dancers.